The old church has no name, or at least none that anyone remembers. The locals just call it the Church of Snow, a fitting title, I think. Even in summer, it feels cold inside, a kind of deep, patient chill that's settled into the stone. The roof gave up long ago, surrendering to the sky. Now, sunlight streams through in sharp, dusty columns, and when it rains, it weeps. But in winter, it's holy. Snow doesn't just fall in here, it descends. It drifts down like whispered secrets, blanketing the splintered pews and the silent altar in a soft, white absolution. I come here often. Not to pray, not anymore. I think I've forgotten how. Or maybe I've just run out of things to ask for. Instead, I come here to remember what it felt like to believe in something. I sit in the front pew, the one that's still mostly intact, and I watch the snow. Each flake is a tiny, perfect miracle, a frozen prayer that asks for nothing. They just are, and then they're gone. It reminds me of her, of us. Love, when it first finds you, feels a lot like faith. It's a sudden, blinding conversion. One day, the world is just the world, and the next, it's a cathedral. Every ordinary thing becomes sacred. The way she tucked a stray strand of hair behind her ear was a benediction. The sound of her laughter was a hymn. Her hand in mine was a promise of grace, a tangible piece of heaven I could hold on to. I didn't just love her. I believed in her. I believed in the us we were building, a sanctuary against the cold, cruel world. Our life together was my religion. Our home was my temple. Her heart was my altar. I knelt before it every day, a devout and willing worshiper. I remember thinking that our love was eternal, indestructible, a monument carved from something stronger than stone. We made promises not in a church like this, but in the quiet cathedrals of late-night conversations under a ceiling of scattered stars. We swore oaths of forever, of always, and I believed every word. It was an easy faith. It asked for nothing but my devotion, and I gave it freely, joyfully. My belief was absolute. The world made sense through the lens of her love. It was the organizing principle of my universe, the sun my entire existence orbited. But faith, I've learned, is a fragile thing. It's built on unseen foundations. And sometimes the ground gives way. There wasn't a single cataclysmic event. No thunderous collapse of the roof. It was more like a slow, quiet decay. A draft you can't quite locate, a single stone loosening, then another. The warmth began to recede, so slowly at first I barely noticed. The hymns grew quieter, the prayers less certain. The silences between us grew longer, heavier, filled with the words we couldn't say. Doubt is a patient poison. It doesn't kill faith overnight. It just stars it, little by little, until one day you wake up and realize you're praying in an empty room. The day she left was quiet. There were no grand pronouncements, no dramatic exits. It was just an ending. A book closing softly on the final page. The sanctuary we had built was suddenly just a house. The sacred relics were just objects. The silence she left behind was not peaceful. It was absolute, a void. It was in that silence that I realized my faith hadn't just been damaged. It had been hollowed out completely. I was an apostle of a God that had simply vanished. And so I come here to this church of snow. I sit and I watch the flakes fall. They cover everything, the broken floor, the empty altar, me. They make no judgments. They offer no answers. They just are. And there's a strange comfort in that. There's a purity in this place that I can't find anywhere else. It's a ruin, yes. But it's an honest ruin. It doesn't pretend to be whole. People talk about heartbreak as a storm, a violent, tearing thing. And it can, but for some of us, for me, it became something else. It became a quiet, enduring vigil, a kind of monastic devotion to an absence. I didn't get angry. I didn't curse the heavens. I just waited. I turned my heartbreak into a ritual. I built a new kind of chapel in my mind, a place dedicated to her memory, to the love that was. It's a cold place, like this one, a place where I go to be alone with the ghost of my belief. It's a strange sort of fidelity, isn't it? To keep showing up at a church where you know no one is listening. To keep your heart in a state of prayer for a miracle you stopped believing in long ago. But what else is there to do when a faith is that profound, when it has shaped every contour of your soul? You can't just tear it out. The hole it would leave would be too vast. So you tend to the emptiness. You sweep the floors of the abandoned temple. You light a candle for a ghost. My friends tell me to move on. They say I'm living in the past. They don't understand that this isn't the past. It's my present. This quiet devotion, this patient waiting. It's how I've learned to survive the silence. It's how I keep her, or the idea of her, alive. It's a lonely faith, but it's mine. It's the last piece of us that still exists. And so I guard it. I protect this sacred ruin inside me because it's all I have left of the divine. The snow is falling faster now. The light is beginning to fade, turning the white ground into a soft blue landscape. The edges of the world are blurring. Soon it will be dark, and the church will be filled with a soft ambient glow from the snow outside. In these moments, it's easy to pretend. It's easy to imagine that the cold on my skin is her touch, that the whisper of the wind through the rafters is her voice. It's easy to believe just for a second that if I close my eyes and pray hard enough, when I open them, she'll be sitting here beside me, her head on my shoulder, watching the snow fall with me. But I don't close my eyes. I know better now. Miracles are for the faithful. And my faith is buried somewhere out there under different kind of snow. Still, I stay. I sit in the growing darkness, a solitary parishioner in a church of memory. I am waiting. Not for her to return, not for a sign. I think I am just waiting for the snow to cover me completely. To make me as quiet, as white, as pure as this place. To become another silent fixture in this beautiful, heartbreaking ruin. Waiting for an absolution that will never come. In a church made of snow and sorrow, it's a strange, quiet life. But it's the one I have, and for now, it is enough. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing. There are many more stories to tell. As always, the heart remembers what the world forgets.